Yeah.
those whose monies have
Whether
been locked
cash
in.
or
You don't have a
5 years.
choice, actually.
Anyways.
All right, to bring us business.
Celebrating 25 years of joy. My name is Sandra S. and I'm Apenu. As always, I'm here for business. Depositors of the fund savings and loans and microfinance institutions with locked up funds below 70,000 cedis will receive payment by cash, but anything else above that will be through government bonds. This is according to the receiver, Eric Nananipa. He spoke to Joy Business in a yet-to-be-aired episode of the business edition of PM Express.
I have my money there, about 100 million Ghana cedis. The president has said that, George, you're going to get everything. What is this bonds thing all about? Well, and why are you doing a mix of cash and bonds?
Let me explain, George, because I think this is a very important point. In the president's address, the president did say that all depositors, that depositors will be fully paid. Okay. There are monies that have been locked up. All right. Of course, this applies, and I must emphasize, okay, to depositors whose claims have been validated and agreed in the receivership process, and of course in the liquidation process. So it isn't any claim at all that would be admitted and paid, because I did mention that there are some frivolous claims. All right. So this applies to claims that have been validated. The president also did mention a sum of 5 billion cedis, and that is the worth or the value of outstanding claims in the region of 5 billion cedis. Government has provided funding to me, and what I have indeed is a 5 billion, which is consistent with the instructions and assurance of the president that there was going to be 5 billion cedis. I must also mention that it is consistent with the release of Bank of Ghana when I was appointed, and reiterated in my first press release. The key thing we did mention was to shore up confidence in the financial system, depositor funds were going to be protected. All right. So translated, that is the 5 billion remaining that is coming through. And it has come through by way of cash and bond. Okay. The cash component amounts to about 1 billion cedis, and there's 4 billion by way of bonds.
How are you distributing it among these depositors?
Well,
are you capping any?
Well, with the payment of the 5 billion, it is outstanding amount. What is due you outstanding, and you're going to get everything for ultimately for the 5 billion. Okay. And that is it. 5 billion is a whole amount, total amount. Everybody's going to get everything.
So like Ajwa Mansa has about 5 million Ghana cedis there. You've paid them just about 20,000 already. In your next round of payment for this, are you having any cap on the payment? Maybe I'll give you 30,000 cash. The rest will be in bonds.
Well, what I'll do with Madam Ajwa scenario will be given the cash that I have and the competing interests. All right. Ajwa Mansa is an individual, all right, and she's already received 20,000 cedis, all right. I am going to provide an additional 50,000 cedis. So Ajwa Mansa would have 70,000 cedis overall, and then the rest would be in bonds.
Joining me via Skype for more on this is financial consultant Charles Mensah. Thank you always for joining us. And you heard the receiver there. And so when the president said we're going to have full payment, I'm sure the assumption is that we're going to have cash. Now we are learning that it's being capped, and after 70,000, you receive bond. What do you make? Is this a fair deal?
Thank you very much. I think it's a switch, because the total amount is 5 billion. You were expecting 5 billion to be paid to you. Now 1 billion is coming in cash, 4 billion is coming in bonds. And this time the bonds are in the name of government. So what it is that instead of you saying that a bank owns you, now it's government that owns you. So for those who have been capped at 70,000, if you are beyond that, then you have the balance in bonds. And now with the way the bonds are traded, what it is that you cannot wait for the period. That means that you have to go and discount the bond. And that's how it is. So it's just the ownership of the debt have been shifted from the former banks to now government in the form of bonds. So you have something you are holding on to that you can go and discount. Hitherto, you couldn't go discount it because nobody owned up that liability. But now, government has owned that liability. But government doesn't have the full cash to give you. It has given you bonds.
Mr.
And
Mensah,
then
I'm
the
sure
bonds you are holding.
right. I'm sure you agree with me that these depositors are looking for their monies back. They want cash, and we are being told that this bonds is at 0 interest rate. And so if I'm not getting interest on this bond and I go to the bank and I can't also wait for 5 years, and then again I'm being asked for a discounted rate because I can't wait for the 5 years, then what's the purpose here? They're losing anyway.
You are not losing because it's better than zero. Because the point is that you put your money at the bank hoping to earn interest. Now, those interests that were quoted previously were too high, so the banks went down. Now, technically, you would have lost totality. Now, your money is brought back. What they are saying is that they can pay you 70,000 and they will pay you the balance after 5 years. Now, which means that you haven't lost money, but you get it 5 years time. But at the same time, when you are in desperate need of the money, you can go and discount it because now it's a proper paper, it's a bond, so you can go and discount it as you speak. But the point is that even if you collect your money wholly, especially those who collected the 70,000, what are you going to do with the 70,000? You still have to find a way to invest it. I remember speaking to a group that 70,000 ought to end up in treasury bills, where you determine what rate. Maybe you are doing this 91 days, 182 days, or 1 year. So it is very good away. The only thing is that yes, they want the money immediately, but what would you use the money for? Because it's better than zero. So when you are desperate in need of those money, because you can't wait for the 5 years, and you can go and discount that at certain rate. So you still have some cash in your hand.
All right, a
I
little
feel
clarity.
it's better.
Right. Okay. So I'm sure that bonds, we all know, should attract some interest. And so why the 0 interest rate on these bonds? And if you can explain to us why government decided to issue the 0% interest
Because
rate on the bonds.
if government introduces any rate at all on those bonds, it will still come at the cost to taxpayer. So granted that the total liability was 5 billion, 1 billion is in cash, 4 billion is in bonds. If we decide as a country that the 4 billion that is in the bond must attract a certain percentage of interest, it means that it's no longer a 4 billion, but 4 billion plus interest.
Okay. All right, before I let go of you quickly, I want to find out, is this to suggest that government doesn't have the money and the president just came to promise, or perhaps we want to control the volume of money that is being injected into the economy?
Oh, no. You see, you have to understand how the financial market works. You see, when it is that you have a problem, sometimes they can free, even banks, they can freeze the interest for a company that is suffering so that they can pick up their thing and make profit. And therefore, you have to look at it technically. Now, technically, now you have your money, except that it's locked up and it's safe for 5 years. Now, when you are desperate need of it, you can discount. If not, wait for the 5 years and get the money. At least you have 70,000 to play.
Right. Well said. Thank you so much, Charles Mensah, as always, for joining us. We'll have more on this whole payment issue with the receiver on the business edition of PM Express tonight. It's at 9 p.m. on the JoyNews channel and also on channel 421 on DSTV. But that's up. We wrap up for the first half of business. My name is Sandra S. and I'm back after 8 p.m. with more business news.